You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
iWalter. Hey, everyone, it's iWalter again. Or I should just say Walter, that's myself. I'm slowly getting over my cold. I don't have all that energy I used to have, though, when I did my show about a week ago. So I'm still in the recuperating stage of the game. Anyway, it is Saturday morning now. It's 2 o'clock. And there was a couple of things. I have to thank Todd Thomas. He's the one who got me started on this. So I was looking for some other articles. I apologize because I'll still be doing the sniffle thing. So it's not the one he initially had sent me, but I was looking for some pictures of this particular individual this article is written about. So I pulled this one from the dailymail.com. And it says pedophilia, a pedophile teacher executed in China after he raped and molested 26 girls under the age of 12 in just 1 year. So obviously I knew why he sent it to me, because that's always an issue with me, with all these stories about pedophiliacs, and in our country it's generally these women who get away with sexually assaulting, molesting young boys, and they basically just get a slap on the wrist, and that's all that's done about it. So obviously, the friend Todd, he knows how this is like a touchy issue with me, and I don't know how they deal with this in China, but this particular gentleman was executed for his crimes. In our country, if you're a male, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail. If you're a female, you get away with it, basically. There's no other way how to state that. So my friend Todd actually sent me some interesting articles I was going to bring up and just talk about, but that was the one off the top of my list. Anyway, I've been trying to look I wanted to actually do a dedicated show on, people don't realize how, being irresponsible, like at my job where I work, which I don't wish to disclose, being careless and taking advantage of a company is eventually going to blow up in your face. So, why I'm bringing that up, though, is because I mentioned to somebody yesterday at my job, I said, listen, you know what? If this continues and you got people who just don't want to do their job, basically milk the company by working 7 doubles in a row and doing the minimal amount of work or nothing at all, a company can't survive like that. So I was mentioning that years ago, this was back in 2006, so that was a long time ago. And it actually might have been before that I knew about this. But I was mentioning around my house, I guess, so to speak, I used to go to Montgomery County Community College, and there was a chain of mom-and-pop stores called Clemens Supermarket, and they basically, the people who owned the company sold their stores to other places. But this particular Clemens that I mentioned to somebody yesterday was actually located in Bluebell. And I remember I was eating in this small mom-and-pop diner type place that was across the street from this Clemens that was down in, I think it's called square, shopping square or something, at this Clemens. These people were sitting with their shop steward and their employees, these union employees, because this particular location was definitely a unionized supermarket. It's actually, the union number was 1776, which was kind of funny. Besides the bicentennial year, was also, I was a part of that union years before then, almost, when I worked for Acme Markets down in Horsham. So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I know that union pretty well. But when Clemens sold this particular location to a place called Superfresh, Superfresh decided, well, okay, everybody is laid off, and if you want to continue to work here, we can rehire you as a Superfresh employee, because this is no longer owned by Clemens, and we will hire you back at a cut rate. And I swear it was like 50% less. So I try to look for an article. I did find one in the Reporter. It's a local newspaper, news, and it was posted 10/31/2006, and it basically said they laid off 95 employees were laid off, but it does mention how they were willing to rehire people, but at half of what they were making before, half their salary. So it's an older article. I did post it on my Facebook page, though, and I basically wanted to bring to people's attention, even at my job, this can happen where we work. You can be a union. You don't have to be a union. It's going to even be worse, though, that way. But if you continue to take advantage of a company, I don't care if you are selling food, selling clothes, or whatever, it doesn't really make a difference. Eventually, you're gonna destroy yourself and your company that you work for from doing stuff like that. I'm going to type in real quick. So you're going to hear me typing, because there was something I heard from the other day from Rush Limbaugh. So I know people either like him or dislike him. I particularly like the man. I seriously doubt I'm going to find what I'm looking for. But he did mention the other day in New York they were trying to pass, basically, I'm trying to think. Basically, you have one healthcare system. The one healthcare that everybody pays in for, and they were convincing people, well, for people that have jobs, the company will pay 80%. You only have to pay 20% under this single healthcare plan, and that is not true. I know that for a fact because where I work, our healthcare was covered from the place I worked 100%, but over the years, as the cost of healthcare went up, we had to pay into it, and then eventually our company decided, listen, we're really not going to pay for your healthcare. It's up to you to pay for your own healthcare, and this happened years ago. So when they give you this misconception, which I don't know how to say it, that they're going to pay for your health care under this single health care act, it's not going to happen. And in fact, I mentioned this to my parents that were complaining about, my dad and my mom, particularly my mother. She basically just got a bill from a foot doctor that she hasn't gone to in the past, I would say, a couple months, and yet she got a bill for $400. And I said, well, listen, this is the way this new healthcare plan is going, and it was mentioned on Rush that even if, you worked all your life and now you're on Medicare, which, you basically paid into, for your Social Security, your retirement fund and also some type of health care when you retired, which would be like Medicare. Well, now you're going to be paying taxes on your Medicare. I mean, that was set aside for people, when they get older, that you're going to be taken care of. You pay in 30, 40, whatever, how many years you worked, you pay into this, this Social Security, which doesn't exist anymore. And you're still paying even after you retire. And anybody who had some sort of retirement fund or income, this is just my speculation, so don't take what I say as like gold, is now paying for those who don't want to work or not even bother looking for a job. And then you got a lot of people that come to this country, from other countries, and are welcomed with open arms with our government, and they get free health care, they get free living arrangements, they get free cell phones, they get EBT cards, and who's paying for all this stuff? And there's a lot of other things that are also involved. I hate to tell you, we're paying for all this. If you have a job, I mean. If you don't, then you don't have to worry about it. But in a roundabout way, yeah, we're paying for these people who come to this country and live the dream that we only could imagine we could have, that is not happening. So I hope I made somewhat some kind of sense, but, this is my concern, though. So anyway, a friend Todd also sent me, Todd, which I was actually upset to read, and it's not with any political issue, but it says it was titled, oh great, I have to wait now. It basically was titled that Disney pulled the plug on any possibility of Tron 3, which I loved the original Tron when I was a teenager, or actually younger than that. I loved Tron Legacy, and now they're saying they're not going to make a sequel. They were supposed to make a third movie, and that was posted on comicbookresource.com, and that was like yesterday technically at this point. So I was actually kind of disappointed in that. I'm disappointed in the politics things too, but I was definitely disappointed in that. Thank you again, Todd, because I have no other information I could, pull any sources of any kind of story. So I'm basically going by what he posted on my Facebook page. So he wrote as a joke, maybe it was my dad, but it said 82-year-old Florida man slashes woman's tires because she was sitting in his favorite bingo seat. So, yeah, that was pretty hilarious. That was actually, where did he find that article? He found that on Fox43.com, Fox Network. So that was pretty funny. He sent me, thank you again, Todd. He had sent me an article that was on actually Fox 43. Didn't know about this, and I love cats. No puns intended, because that's a Cure song. It says, woman goes blind after cat licks her. And apparently it's a small percentage, but cats carry this particular type of harmful bacteria, that's in their saliva, that is not harmful to the kitten or the cats, but it is harmful to human beings. And it's only a small percentage of cats that have this particular type of bacteria. But unfortunately, this woman, her cat was one of those of the minority group of cats that carry this disease or this bacteria. And the cat licked, I assume, an open wound on this woman, and now she's like blind in one eye. So that's pretty scary. Here's an article I can at least say I found on my own. It was on comicbookmovie.com, and it was titled Kristen Kane Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, he's been doing Wolverine for years now, and he is at the point he doesn't want to do it any longer. He's getting older. So they were looking for somebody else, and it says Kristen Kane is what they're speculating. I don't think it's etched. I'm didn't really read it either. So, but that was on comicbookmovie.com. Actually, this was something I also found because I bought a ticket tonight. But coming next month, I think it's like the end of next month, they're going to re-release in the movie theaters the 1975 version of Jaws for its 40th anniversary. So I went online, I bought my ticket. It was like $12. It's Sunday only. It says Sunday, June 21st through June 24th, which is next month. And it's basically a little less than a month away. It's like, yeah, that's my all-time favorite film. I've bought every version of the movie. I loved it when I was a kid. Anytime I could find it on TV, I would be right there watching it. So, yeah, I was just kind of excited. Here's another one Todd had sent me, my friend Todd, but I actually found more articles. And it's this girl from Australia. She is adorable looking, though. She is very cute. She's got Down syndrome. She's 18 years old, and now she was determined to lose weight. And she lost 44 pounds. She looks adorable. You can kind of slightly tell she's got Down syndrome, but I give her more power. And now she is modeling for, it looks like, a clothing line. It's in Australia called Living Dead. Yeah, she is adorable. She's very cute. So more power to her, I knew people at my job, I guess one particular person that had Down syndrome, and, this guy did a lot. It was a guy. This is a girl that this article's about. By the way, the article I found was on, it looks like viralnova.com, and it was marked yesterday's date. So you can kind of see some pictures of the girl before and after she lost weight. She really, before when she was heavy, she looked like she obviously had Down syndrome. When she lost the weight, she looks has the less, I hate to say it, but the less of the appearance of having Down syndrome. Like I said, the girl is just adorable, so I give more power to her. Her mom helped her or supported her on her weight loss, and she looks really incredible. So, just wanted to throw that in the niche. A friend Todd, thank you again. He sent us an article. I didn't bother to read it, so I hate to say it, but it was titled, Bernie Sanders wrote an essay saying that women fantasize about rape. And I hate to say it, I think a lot of women, if they admit to it or not, it's actually true. It was in the NewYorkPost.com. It just states that just as Senator Bernie Sanders' progressive presidential challenge to Hillary Clinton is gaining steam, an 1972 essay of his has surfaced in which he claims women fantasize about being raped. And I hate to say this, but I think that is actually true. Sanders is 73 now, by the way. I'm not trying to put down women, but yeah, I think, I don't, they're say, I'm not saying they're asking, I want to be raped by a man, but I think it's some like a sick fantasy that I think women do have. And that's just the thing about, men being, it's the same, in my opinion, it's the same thing as men should be chivalrous to women. They want the man to be in control, and what better way to show that in a sexual way than them actually sexually assaulting you? So, I mean, it sounds really like you're nuts if you believe that. But I hate to tell you, I really do believe that. I'm sure women act that out with people they know. I know the one friend who watches a lot of porn, he actually watches crap like that, so in a roundabout way. Anyway, thank you once again to Todd. He had found an article in Conservative Post, and it was titled, McDonald's workers won't have to worry about making minimum wage much longer. And I mentioned to him, I said, yeah, thank you for that article because you basically just proved what I had said, mentioned to people, maybe on my show, I can't remember, a few weeks ago, when I heard in Asia they were replacing human beings at a McDonald's with basically self-checkout. And I said, well, if they, with this nonsense of asking for non-educated jobs, such as McDonald's, you don't need any type of high education. You don't even need a high school diploma to do the job. I'm sorry that eventually in this country they're going to do the same thing and put these self ATM-like checkouts for people to wait on themselves. And lo and behold, there was an article in Conservative Post that says that's probably what is going to happen, especially in California, because McDonald's can't afford to pay for people's health benefits and pay them $15 an hour for, basically fast food and for a job that anyone can do without an education of any sort. So that was posted again in the business section of Conservative Post, and that was actually dated yesterday as well. Thank you again, Todd, because this story was kind of funny in not a good way. It was on the dailymail.com. Thank you again, Todd. It said, shocked passenger takes a photo of airport worker using tape on engine shell of EasyJet plane moments before takeoff. So the guy is literally putting duct tape around to fix a problem with the jet, the jet propellers. Well, they're not really propellers, but the jet streams. Where the jets on the plane. He literally, and they show a picture the guy had taken, and the guy got a close up, but the person was actually to fix the streamline on the jet stream on your turbines on your plane. The guy was fixing it with duct tape. So, yeah, I would be a little bit, they try to get out of it. It says speed tape is used as a temporary measure for minor repairs. It can protect the engine from air getting in that can cause imbalance. But it's an EasyJet, say that in this instance it was used for cosmetic reasons. I don't care. I would be kind of devastated too if I'm taking a plane and I've seen somebody fix what appears to be a problem with duct tape. I mean, that is pretty scary. So, there's not much else to say. Todd did give me a couple of interesting stories. I'm getting near the end of what I want to be at. It seems like Ryan Reynolds' movie of Deadpool has been wrapped up. That was posted. I'm just going to kind of glance through these really quick. So I'm already hitting my half-hour mark. I'm surprised. I think that was actually yesterday, too, also. So, I'm actually looking forward to that. I know there's a guy I used to work with. He loved Deadpool, and he really liked Ryan Reynolds, so I'm sure he's really psyched about this whole deal. And this was years ago this was supposed to be made. Now it finally was. Now here's one I found, an article, not Ryan Reynolds, but it was something else if it opens up. It looks like it's on it's called, the link is called SeeSexyTarts.com, and it shows pictures of chocolate anuses. Like they made a mold. They made a mold out of this woman's ass. I believe it was like a porn star. They made a mold of her sphincter, and they from the mold they made of her sphincter. There's a video that's attached to it. They basically made chocolates out of her, out of a mold from her sphincter. So it's titled 6 Pictures That Prove a Chocolate Mold of Your Anus is the Best Valentine's Day Present ever. It's the best present you can give ever. I'm sorry, I don't care if there was some type of, if the chocolates are made out of this mold and the mold was made out of a mold and you don't have to worry. I mean, that's like fecal matter comes out of that hole. So I don't care. It's going to be in the back of my mind no matter how I look at it. So, it's pretty gross, and I can't imagine eating something that came out of somebody's sphincter, even if it's not a direct link. No puns intended. Thank you again, Todd. I might have not mentioned this yesterday. I just want to mention today. Some cute but hefty-looking girl. This just shows you how much better women have it than men. It was in the New York Post. It was dated also yesterday. And it's a woman who has never shaved her body. So it's titled, "She Doesn't Shave and She Has No Problem Eating Guys." It says a Liverpool University student has taken the intranet by storm this week after the challenging taboos on sexuality and gender. So the girl's cute looking, but yeah, she basically's got hair on her arms and on her legs and anywhere else on a woman that the hair can grow. Call me old school, but I like a woman who is well shaven and, having hair. I mean, I can't stand the hair on her arms, and on a woman on her legs. And I think it even mentioned she might have even had like a mustache she used to get teased about. But she doesn't care. She doesn't shave whatsoever. She doesn't have that much body hair to begin with, but it's just completely gross. So, you know what? I'll leave it probably go at that for tonight. It is the weekend, so I'll leave that as my last story. Folks, I'll try to be back this weekend, and I hope you enjoyed my show. And I am getting my voice back, so I'm happy about that. So everyone, have a good Saturday morning. And I am signing off.